What if I told you that some of the most sophisticated tools for teaching complex language and critical thinking aren't those super dense novels, but are actually picture books? I know, it might sound a little strange, but today we're going to peel back the cover on these totally overlooked treasures and reveal their surprising power for learners of all ages. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll completely rethink what a picture book even is. Then, we're going to dive into the unique language of images before we get into three, I think, fascinating case studies that really put these ideas into practice. And finally, we'll uncover how you can use this secret weapon in your own learning. For way too long, picture books have been kind of stuck in the nursery, right? But in the world of language education, they are absolutely emerging as this powerful and, frankly, largely undiscovered resource for learners of all ages. This question really gets to the heart of it. It just completely challenges what we think we know. Because the reality is, these books offer a depth and a complexity that's just perfect for developing not just advanced verbal skills, but visual literacy too. Okay, so why are they so incredibly effective? Well, first off, they give you authentic stories with this rich, natural vocabulary that you just don't find in a standard textbook. Second, those pictures, they are not just decoration. They're crucial support that helps learners tackle really complex text. Third, there's this real, tangible sense of accomplishment you get from finishing a whole book, which is hugely motivating. And finally, and this is a big one, they teach the critical skill of visual literacy, how to actively pull meaning from an image. Now, to really, truly appreciate these books, we need a little bit of a framework. We have to understand how the pictures and the words collaborate to tell a story. It's a language all its own. The first key concept here is visual literacy. This isn't just about glancing at a picture and seeing what's there. No, it's an active process of interpretation. See, unlike text, you don't read an image left to right, top to bottom. Your eye moves around, it jumps to what's important, creating this non-linear path to understanding. It's a whole different way of reading. And that leads us to this really cool idea called the iconotext. A picture book isn't just words with pictures. It's a single, unified text where the words and the pictures truly depend on each other. You can't fully understand one without the other. They're locked in this constant, dynamic dance. So this dance between words and images, it can take a few different forms. Sometimes it's symmetrical. The picture just shows you what the words are saying. Simple enough. But then it gets more complex. In a complementary relationship, they fill in each other's gaps. When it's enhancing, the pictures actually add new layers of meaning. And in the most sophisticated form, and this is my favorite, counterpointing, the pictures and the words can actually tell two different, sometimes even conflicting stories all at once. And finally, there's the paratext. Now, this is all the stuff around the main text. The cover, the end papers inside, even the font choices. In a really well-made picture book, these are not afterthoughts. They are the very doorway to the narrative. And honestly, the story often begins long before you even read the first sentence. Okay, with that framework in mind, let's put it into practice. Our first case study is a book that doesn't just tell a story. It takes the very idea of what a book is, and it just gleefully smashes it to pieces. This is a perfect example of the paratext becoming a playground. I mean, right there on the end paper, before the story has even officially begun, the little red hen starts arguing with the narrator, Jack. The book's whole structure is hijacked from the very first page. It's brilliant. And the chaos just keeps going. In the story of Chicken Licken, the sky doesn't fall. The table of contents, the actual table of contents from the book, falls on his head, squashing him and ending the story. This is pure metafiction. The physical format of the book becomes an active and hilarious part of the plot. By the end of this thing, the narrator, Jack, has completely lost control. The giant from a totally different story just shows up to eat the annoying little red hen, and Jack just runs for it. This is intertextuality at its best, just mashing up familiar fairy tales to create something completely unpredictable and new. Okay, now for a complete shift in tone. Picture books aren't just for humor and deconstruction. As our next case study shows, they can also tackle these profound, difficult historical subjects with incredible nuance. This quote from the illustrator Roberto Innocenti is really the key to understanding Rose Blanche. The entire book is about the gap between a child's perception and the horrific reality of Nazi Germany, a reality she senses but just cannot fully grasp. And this is where we see that powerful counterpoint in action. The verbal text is so simple, told from a child's innocent point of view. But the hyper-realistic illustrations? They're filled with historically accurate, chilling details. The book's emotional power comes from that tension between what Rose says she sees and what we, the reader, know we are seeing. The ending is what makes this book just so devastatingly powerful. The text tells us Rose Blanche's mother never found her little girl. But it's the illustration that reveals the full story, showing us the abandoned camp where she likely died, now overgrown with spring flowers. This is a perfect example of a complementary interaction. We need both the text and the image to comprehend the heartbreaking tragedy and that tiny, painful sliver of hope it contains. For our final case study, let's turn to a book by Anthony Brown that is absolutely written for a dual audience. On the surface, it's just a family trip to the zoo. But just beneath that surface, there's a sharp, critical story hiding in plain sight. The book's design is just brilliantly deliberate. The human family is always on the left page, and the animals are always on the right. This layout forces a constant comparison. And as the story unfolds, we see the humans becoming louder, more aggressive, while the animals in their barren cages just look more and more sad and withdrawn. The author's critical perspective is made crystal clear in moments just like this one. Look at the close-up of this gorilla. His face is framed by window bars that form a cross, a really powerful symbol of his suffering and confinement. The entire argument is visual. It doesn't even need words. The mother's quiet comment near the end is one of the only moments where the text states the book's critical theme outright. After a whole book of showing us, Brown finally just tells us, leaving the reader to reflect on who the zoo is truly for and who is really on display. So, after looking at these rich, complex examples, what's the big takeaway here? How can we actually harness this power for learning? Let's bring it all together. Ultimately, it really comes down to this. Picture books are incredibly sophisticated literary tools. They can teach complex ideas like irony and symbolism. They can explore really difficult topics with incredible nuance. They are perfect for fostering critical thinking, especially for readers who might be intimidated by longer texts. They're a gateway, a bridge to a lifetime of deep, meaningful reading. They are so much more than just pictures. They are a fusion of art and language that challenges us to read the world differently. Which it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden stories are waiting to be read in the books on your shelf?